What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's limited series review of the Apple original TV series Calls. This series, of course, was developed by Fede Álvarez and is based off the short series created by Timothy Huston. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, of course, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, as well as commenting below on any video that you watch, including this one. So Calls is a very fascinating thing that I've actually never really seen before outside of a podcast universe or a radio drama universe, where we have this show, this limited series. There might be a second season, I'm not entirely sure, because this one season is contained in a particular story, but it basically takes the idea of like a radio drama and thrusts it onto the TV screen, thrusts it on Apple TV Plus. And this is a very bold series for something like Apple TV because there are no live actors outside of their voices. You know, a lot of famous people like Clancy Brown, Aubrey Plaza, Danny Pudi, Mark Duplass, Pedro Pascal. And basically they have to use their voice, use some like no effects because they're being put in later to kind of sell this story, this idea of this apocalypse or this world situation, world cataclysm, and make it kind of a bold experiment, which is what this is. But because it's been done in podcast and radio drama form, it's not entirely new, but the way it's being presented with the idea and the facts that every kind of thing you see on TV is all done in waveforms and wavelengths. So when people are talking, you see like the little bars and stuff like that. If you ever seen a sound wave or something like that, you see like the way that people move when they talk, how it bounces and stuff like that, how air kind of moves through the wavelengths and stuff like that. And then they'll put in like really cool, really interesting kind of visuals that kind of represent a little bit about what's going on. But this series is very similar to something like a Twilight Zone radio drama or a Stephen King novella that has a bunch of short stories and plays out with different kind of situations in each of the 9 episodes. So you get everything from horror stories to, kind of sci-fi tellings to time travel to just these very interesting kind of weird places that eventually concludes into this one bigger overall arcing story. And it's a really fascinating thing, like I said, because of the actors and actresses that are involved, and Fede Álvarez taking kind of the ideas that were presented from Timothy Huston, it becomes a very interesting kind of project that I was not prepared for or didn't really know much about until I saw the trailer for. And the one thing I can definitely say about this experiment, this radio drama, this limited series is unlike anything you'll ever see. It's different, but it's fascinating, it's riveting, it has some really truly horrifying and pulse pounding moments. This is a series that I was completely on board the minute I started watching it, because an all around interesting idea that I was not expecting to really enjoy very much. It's a really fascinating thing to listen to, because if you like podcasts or like radio dramas, you can imagine the scenarios that are being presented, as long as they're presented well, as long as the the audio effects work real well, as long as you're getting some of the dynamics, as long as the characters are working well with one another and their voice work. And like I said, it's all told through telephone calls and sometimes a little bit of radio calls and stuff like that. But when the stories are playing out and when you're seeing them presented, it's a really fascinating kind of interesting kind of concept that really has some truly remarkable things in it. There are some things in here that just completely kind of like holy crap moments, and there's some things that are a little laughable, but really kind of works. It really does. And using those waveforms and wavelengths to kind of visualize what they're doing and kind of give it a little more flair is it's a really good thing to have in your series, and it really does work for its benefit. It doesn't mean every episode works on its whole, because there are some episodes, especially one that involves Mark Duplass and a couple other famous actors, that it really kind of falls apart as the episode moves along. It gets a little too goofy, a little too fantastical and over the top. But I think, of all the episodes, that one episode doesn't completely ruin the series, because like I said, there are moments in the series where you're just like so riveted by what you're listening to and what you're watching that you just kind of go with it. You kind of just go on board, and it's a great thing to have in your series, and I really loved it for that. So. And it also makes me want to go back and listen to the original short series that, Timothy Huston did, because I'm really fascinated to see if Fede Álvarez kind of took the same concept and kind of ran with it, or he created his new spin while using the kind of skeleton of what Timothy Huston did for, his series. I just find Fede Álvarez and what he was doing and how he was directing the crew, and he was letting them probably, not necessarily go off script, but kind of just do their own thing, kind of put their own spin on it. And I really think for the most part, it really works. I think this is a fascinating experiment. I think it's a risky experiment, but it's just a really fascinating thing. It really is. It's a series that really does a nice job with, you know, creating suspense, creating world building, creating, you know, a third dimension within the two-dimensional realm that is audio, with getting you on board with the concepts and the representation and the presentation, you know, being able to kind of visualize the world that you're being presented is pretty incredible. And, you know, with everything that Apple TV Plus has put out in the last year, the experimental nature of what they're doing, you know, has created some really unique shows like Ted Lasso and For All Mankind, and for a certain extent See. But yeah, you know, the series comes out on March 19th. Like I said, it's a series that might put some people off just for the fact there's no real true visuals in the series. But I think if you can kind of, even if you turn off the TV or you listen to it, you know, on your phone, you just kind of listen to the audio calls and the telephone calls, and you listen to the visual or the audio work, like the special effects and stuff like that, I think you'll be truly engaged by it. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. And I think it does a nice job just selling an interesting medium that is not used very often in the TV medium form. So, but like I said, that's my take on this series Calls. Like I said, I hope they do another second season or a series 2 of this series, because it'd be very interesting to see them do another concept, another idea that's not necessarily the concept that they're presenting in the first season. But this is, like I said, a true winner for me. So, but yeah, that's it. That's my take on Calls. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below. Are you interested in seeing this series? Has my review kind of gained an interest for you? Do you listen to radio dramas and podcasts? What do you think about those types of things? But I'd be interested to know. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, and as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.